I'm Philippa Dean, I'm 26 years old and I'm an aquaculturist. Aquaculture is the husbandry, the growing of fish. The problem with fishing, you might just be aiming for one type of fish species, but when you're fishing with nets, you're going to catch a whole heap of other fish as well. And a lot of those fish can be endangered. So what I like about aquaculture is that you're farming one kind of fish in an intensive system, and it takes the pressure off the wild stock. I work at SARDI, which is an acronym for South Australian Research and Development Institute. They research anything that is in the aquatic environment. It's in Adelaide, it's at West Beach. We've got 1,000 and 5,000 litre tanks, and we do research for the aquaculture industry so that they are able to farm the fish in a better, more sustainable way, be able to keep the fish, be able to make it as economically profitable for them as possible. At the moment, my project is working with mulloway, and that is actually classed in Australia as an overfished species. We're worried about the fish stocks, and we want to know when they feed properly. Mulloway is a marine estuarine fish. In an intensive aquaculture environment, we've got the problem that they're not putting on as much weight as, say, another fish, and we want to make sure that we're getting the maximum amount we can out of the fish. So at the moment, what we're doing is we've got 4 treatments. We're feeding them all day long, then we're feeding them at night time, then we're feeding them at dawn and dusk, and then we've got something called demand feeders. We're trying to work out when the mulloway like to eat, and hopefully by doing that there'll be more coming into the food markets and from aquaculture instead of from our wild stocks. Cleaning the pool farm is a big thing, it's a big job. We have to make sure that there's as little growth on the tanks as possible, and this is for the health of the fish. The little kingfish are 3 months old and usually weigh them once every 2 weeks. And what we do is we take them out, we anaesthetise them, and then they start breathing slowly and they're much easier to handle. And then we will measure them. There's a lot of weighing, there's a lot of feeding, there's a lot of cleaning. But you do get to work with these fish, you do get to note their behaviour, you get to see how wonderful they are. So there's a lot of different aspects to the job. I grew up in the Northern Territory on a cattle station, 180 k's north of Alice Springs, and it was a very dry place. We had a river out the back, and very occasionally it would run. And when this creek ran, a day or two later you'd see all these fish everywhere, little fish, and then could never understand how such a dry creek bed could have all this life in it. It was just, for me, it was absolutely fascinating. I wanted to be a marine biologist for as long as I can remember. I have asthma, and you can't get a diver's license if you have asthma. And I remember my mum and dad told me one day that I couldn't be a marine biologist, and I was absolutely heartbroken and I was completely lost. I didn't actually finish year 12 at high school. I did some courses in business administration, but I wasn't happy, and I still wanted to be a marine biologist. So I did my Bachelor of Science and majoring in marine biology at Flinders University in South Australia, and it was wonderful. I love fish right from the larval stage, from the egg, actually. I just love watching them hatch. I love seeing the different life stages. It's fascinating to think that such a tiny, weeny little organism can turn into some huge, big 200-kilo fish like a tuna or something. It's absolutely amazing. Here at SARDI, we're always crying out for volunteers and for people to get more experience. There's a lot of need for people in this industry. Aquaculture is extremely important. It's basically securing the future of our wild stocks and trying to bring it back to pre-European fishing. I definitely think you need a university degree or at least a lot of work experience in that industry. You can do a Bachelor of Science, but you have to make sure that you pick aquaculture topics. I can definitely see a future for me in aquaculture. I'm unique in that I'm just obsessed with fish. I've got 9 aquariums at home, and I don't mind if I'm with aquaculture or if I'm in marine biology, as long as I've got my fish.